Affordable football. It's not my phrase, it's not your phrase, it's their phrase. Back in 2016, in order to justify the move to the Olympic Stadium and sell it to the fan base, they promised a handful of things, and one of those things was affordable football. Now, while I don't think they delivered on all of it, and I still don't think they have delivered on some of it, one thing they did do was bring affordable football to West Ham fans when we moved in 2016. Credit where credit's due. Season tickets for an adult from £290. Kids season tickets, doesn't matter where you sat in bands 1 to 5 in the London Stadium, kids season tickets were £99. Fantastic value, affordable, big, yes, you've ticked that box, you've delivered it. Like I said, they didn't deliver everything. Stands close to the pitch as they were at Upton Park, no chance. But this video is all about season ticket prices because it's really upset me. Back in 2016, the club were willing to talk to anybody that would listen. Say, hey, have you seen our prices? Cheapest kids season ticket in the Premier League. Asterix along with Sunderland. But we'll remove that part. £99 for a child to go watch 19 games of Premier League football is incredible. They were singing about it. They were proud of it. And they should have been. Well, I'll tell you what, today in 2024, they should be ashamed of it because it's an absolute disgrace the way they're treating this fan base with their season ticket prices. And when I say prices, I don't mean how much I've got to pay, but how they're treating a fan base as a whole in certain sectors of the fan base. Because since 2016, bit by bit, they've been removing some of the perks and some of the benefits of being a season ticket holder. The prices have been going up bit by bit. And like I said, this video is not about my season ticket price. It's gone up a bit. I knew it was coming. I'll take it on the chin. I've paid it. It is what it is. I'm more annoyed with what they're doing, which impacts other fans, because one day it will impact me. And it's not just a West Ham problem. It's a Premier League problem. When I did the Fulham fan opposition preview earlier on the season, I knew Fulham fans were protesting around about Christmas time, so I asked him about it and he explained Fulham fans are being priced out. Fulham fans can't go to Fulham games, we're being priced out, it's not good. Wolves are kicking off at the minute with their season tickets. They've won a little bit, the club have backtracked slightly, the fans are still not happy. 15,000 names on a petition at Wolves right now. It's a Premier League thing. But it doesn't mean that West Ham have to follow suit. Because I remember in 2017, Canterbury was asked about why the club announced attendances as tickets sold and not as people through the turnstile. It's two different things. Usually there's 10,000 people that bought a ticket that don't turn up. And her justification was, everyone else does it. And it feels like the justification for doing this will be, everyone else is doing it. But it doesn't mean you have to do it. And to prove that, last summer, one of the things they've done, last summer, they increased the concessionary price from 65 to 66. There was only 2 clubs in the Premier League that done that, and we were one of them. So it suits her. When everyone else does it, it suits her as an excuse. But when everybody else 6 to 65, oh no, we're not going to follow the trend then. We're going to do our own thing. Us and that other club, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to put it up by 1 year. What's the justification? Because the government was going to increase the retirement age to 66. Doesn't mean you have to do it though. It doesn't mean you have to show a complete lack of respect for the fan base and just do it at very short notice. Nobody knew it was coming. So anybody a year ago that thought they were going to finally get the concessionary price and receive a large discount on the season ticket, forget it. Find that extra £300 in the space of 2 weeks, please, because renewal dates here cough up. But bit by bit, they've been removing the perks. Founder price was one of the first things to go. Basically, I've had my season ticket from 2016, so I'm a founder because I had a season ticket on day 1 at the London Stadium. If my mate got one in 2018, then when we went to renew in 2019, a year later, he would pay a bit more than I did because I got a founder discount. It wasn't much. I can't remember how much it was. £20 or something. It wasn't much, but it was a nice gesture. You felt good. You felt respected. You felt wanted. You felt the club were recognising that you bought a season ticket in 2016. So we're going to give you a little thank you. It's not much. It's just a little thank you. Gone. One of the first things to go, and they just did it secretly. They just removed it. Last year, I remember them, still got the cheapest season ticket for an adult in London to watch Premier League football. But what they didn't tell you was they added in a band. It used to be band 1 to 5 plus the 1966 club. Band 5 was the lowest band. they increased capacity, which meant the seats at the very top of the upper tier, which were covered up, were now uncovered and we could use them. But because they're really bad for view, they created a band 6. So the club did this, hey, it's still the cheapest, come watch Premier League football in London, still the cheapest adult ticket. But what they didn't do was tell you, A, it was a new category, and B, bands 1 to 5 all went up in price. They ignored that. They controlled the narrative. Well, they're not saying anything about the narrative right now, because what they're doing is ridiculous. Concession prices are going. If you are renewing and you have a concession season ticket, so you are 66 or over, not 65, they increased it, 66 or over, or you're under 21 or under 16, you get a further discount. If you're renewing, fine, not impacted, unless you want to move, but that's a different thing. Not impacted. However, if you want to get a season ticket, if you're going to be a new season ticket holder at West Ham next season, you ain't getting a concession unless you sit in bands 5 and 6. If you want to sit in bands 1, 2, 3, 4, you pay full price. They've removed the concessions. There is none. Back in 2016, if you got a kids season ticket in band 1, it was 99 quid. If you're renewing for next season, it's 295 quid. It's gone up £200. If you're going to get one next season, so if you decide I'm going to sit in band 1, I'm going to get a season ticket for my kid as well, excellent, let's go. Kids season ticket in band 1 next season at West Ham United, £1,175. It's gone up just under 1,100 quid because you ain't getting a discount anymore. It's just been the start. I feel like everything is just the founders, just the start. Putting a concessionary age up by 1 year, just the start. That was the start. This now is the storm, and I don't think they're finished. I do not think they're finished. We got warning signs a couple of months ago when there was quotes, unofficial quotes from David Sullivan, which was, if I could turn back time, I would do it differently. It was, I'd have no concessions at the stadium. Spurs have got rid of them altogether. There isn't any. They do not exist. That is what will happen at West Ham. That is the route we are going down. And like I said, this doesn't impact me per se. I'm not looking to obtain a concessionary season ticket. I'm not turning 66 for a while yet, right? It doesn't impact me. But I'm still pissed off about it because it impacts a lot of West Ham fans. And I've seen stories and people have come to me with their stories this year, what they're doing. And it's not on. There's someone I know who goes with his kid. Now next year his kid's season ticket's £200 and something and his is £1,000 or whatever. He rang up the club and said, can we move to a different band please, because my kid can't see very well, so can I move? And he actually wants to go up a band, so he's going to be paying more. And the club said, yeah, you can, but your kid's ticket is now an adult's ticket. He said, hang on a minute, I thought concessions if you were renewing. It's only if you're renewing and staying in the same seat. If you want to move seats, you lose it. You lose that. It's a privilege now. It never used to be. It used to be a benefit. It used to just be a perk that everybody assumed was there. It was just a thing. It was just a benefit. Now it's not a benefit. It's a privilege to be a concession at West Ham United, and that's just not on. As for bands 5 and 6, I'll tell you about them in a second. I appreciate I'm ranting and I apologise, but it's irked me a lot. I covered it when the season ticket news came out. I know people can say, you're a bit late, it's June. I did it in April, but in the last week, a couple of people, subscribers, have commented, going, are you going to cover the season ticket stuff? I was like, I already have. I have spoke about it. However, I always say, if one person doesn't understand, that's on them. If multiple people raise the same concern, that's on me. And multiple people have said, why are you not covering it? So I've obviously not given enough coverage. Also, back in April, there was the Moyes stuff, there was European football, there was a lot of stuff going on which overshadowed the season ticket things. At the minute now, with the football parked, transfer window still yet to open, the Euros a week away, it's getting a bit of attention, there's a bit of traction now. And also people are discovering, because they're ringing up, or in the last week, the deadline was on Monday, so people have been ringing up pre-Monday, post-Monday. I've renewed, can I now relocate? People are now stumbling onto these issues, and there's a lot of individual cases where fans are upset And also stuck. They've renewed, rang up to kind of move. No. Phone down. Well, you can, but you've got to stump up an extra few £100 for your kid's tickets. Now an adult's one. They're stuck. My friend has to decide, does he take his kid next season who can't see, or does he stump up a few extra £100? I say a few, £800 more for his kid's ticket to be turned into an adult's one, so that he can move somewhere for his kid to see. That's the problem he's got at the minute. Anyway, the reason I'm going to calm down in a second is because it's a year since Prague. Can you believe it? A year since we won the Conference League. Two things. First of all our Conference League merch is reduced, so if you want to go to the store, hammerschatstore.com, all our Conference League stuff is, this t-shirt's got 20% off at the minute. So if you like it, if I'm modelling it all right, go grab one. But also this image. And the reason this image is important today is because the club did a tweet this morning to say 1 year since Prague. No David Moyes, no Declan Rice, no Pablo Fornals. Kehrer was missing as well, but I think there's less of an annoyance there. But they missing out the manager, the captain, and the guy that scored in the semi-final to get us to Prague. And I understand why they've done it. Well, actually, no. I understand they're thinking, let's remove the players that are no longer at West Ham. Technically incorrect anyway, because Moyes is still West Ham's manager for another 3 weeks until the 30th of June his contract is. But I don't understand why they would do it. It's harder to get it wrong than get it right. It's just bonkers. Anyways, since it's been deleted. But it made me think of this, because this here is a canvas by Canning Len. I'm going to put a link to his website in the description below. If you want to get your hands on this, it's a canvas, a proper canvas. And the reason this image is important is, first of all, it's the only one that contains every player that played in the campaign. So a lot of photos that you will see, there'll be a player missing. So Len has painted in, he's taken a photograph, painted it, but he's added in the missing players. I think Lanzini was one of them. And I think Kehrer was one of them. He's just basically just stuck them in as if they were actually there. So there you go. There's Lanzini. Look, his head's been added. So he's not in the original picture. And also, there was no claret and blue. Because obviously we wore a white kit. There's no claret and blue. Len thought, that's not really West Ham. So he added some. He's just added some claret and blue flags. So if you fancy getting your hands on a canvas, celebrating the win against Fiorentina, who lost again, Canning Len's website, put in the description below. Anyway, back to the season ticket stuff. Hopefully I will remain calm for the rest of the video. The thing that has really irked me here, forgetting just principle for a minute, forgetting just the fact that they are just taking the piss now, and just looking at it logically, it's too far. It is too far. Because the concessions are the 66 and above, and then under 21s, and then, like I said, usually there's another category under 16s, but it's just, you ain't getting it in bands 1 to 4 if you're a new season ticket holder next season. So they're forcing them. If you ring up today, you're 67 years old, you ring up today, I want a season ticket, bands 5 or 6. For those that don't know, bands 5 and 6 are at the back, behind the goals, of the upper tier, I should say. It's a long climb, and I know there's a joke, and I know we all take the piss about how bad the view is at London Stadium. Forget the view, just to get to your seat, there's a lot of steps, as it would be. Any stadium with 60,000 seats, if you're sitting in the back row, there's going to be a lot of steps. It's like, maybe not quite as bad as Newcastle away, but there's a lot of steps to get there. And then it's a long distance to the pitch. Again, I'm not even trying to take the piss out of the London Stadium's view here, right? I've done it. I'm not doing that. If you were to sit at the back row of any stadium in the Premier League, bar Bournemouth, it would be difficult to see. It's a long way. We are basically forcing those over 66 now, they've changed the age, 66-year-olds, to sit up there. They're also the fans that, first of all, have given their, I assume, and most people, have given their life to West Ham. They've been a West Ham fan for 60 years. It's them that you're attacking here. They're the ones that put the money into the club when the club have needed it. They're the ones that have done it. Without them, we wouldn't be at the London Stadium today. You're attacking them. And then last of all, there's just mobility in eyesight. And I'm not trying. If you're 70 here and you will get offended, I apologise. This is not my intention. Trust me. That's the club's intention. They're the ones that are trying to offend you. They're most likely to have mobility issues and eyesight issues. The older you get, the more you struggle, your eyes tend to go as well. The fans, the age group of the fans that are most likely to struggle sitting at the top of that stand is the ones that the club are trying to force up there. They know what they're doing because they don't want them up there. They don't want concessions. They want everybody paying full whack. And they know sticking the concessions up there, they're unlikely to do it because it's not a suitable seat for them. So they're just going to have to cough up the additional dough and sit in bands 3 and pay the same price as the guy next to him regardless of his age. And it's not on. They've disrespected the fan base a lot. But this particular thing, it's just too far. It is far. The worst thing is I don't even think this is the last thing. I think there's more to come. Like I said, don't be surprised next summer they just abandon concessions altogether. 5, 6, forget it. You ain't even getting one in 5 and 6. It's just going to keep on happening. They've been removing benefits and perks bit by bit, increasing the price bit by bit. And they're going to continue to do it. They will keep on doing it. Family stand. There's meant to be a family stand. We've never had one. The reason being, the whole stadium's a family stand. It's really not. My friend... child cannot see the game. It is not that is not child friendly because we don't have a family section at the London Stadium. The club just said the whole thing is family friendly. It is not. And there's a guideline somewhere, and I apologise for not knowing which one it is. There's a guideline somewhere. You're meant to have a family area. You're meant to have one so people can take their kids and know that there's less likely to be swearing, standing, etc. That's the area. But instead the club just turn a blind eye and say, everyone can sit down and not swear and then the whole thing's family. It doesn't happen. It's football. People will stand. People will swear. There should be a family section. There isn't one. Well, do you know what? It doesn't even matter if we have, because they'd all have to pay the same price as an adult season ticket. They are rinsing us. Because I know this, before people say, they don't want... I know they don't want season ticket holders. I know that. But it doesn't mean you have to act like it. It doesn't mean you have to spit on them, because that's practically what they're doing here. Like I said, it doesn't impact me. It does not impact me. But we cannot have a I'm alright Jack attitude about this type of thing. Just because you're not a season ticket holder doesn't mean you cannot agree that the club are taking the mick out of those that are impacted by this, because that's where I stand. Last year I said it then as well. Just because you're not 66 or 65 doesn't mean you can't be annoyed about the 65-year-olds that are getting impacted by that change the club made. It's just not good enough, and I feel really sorry because there are people out there, lots of them, that are generally stressed about this. I say stressed, I get annoyed about it, but you know what? In an hour's time I'll have calmed down, I'll be going about my day as normal. But there's people, like my friend, who's generally thinking, my son has to just not go, because there's no point, or I've got to find 800 quid and upgrade his season ticket so they can move to somewhere his son can see. What choice is that? It is absolutely ridiculous by the club, and it's just... The worst thing for me, it's unnecessary. They didn't need to do this. The increase in concession prices will earn them approximately a few weeks of Danny Ings' wages. That's it. That's the extra money that the club will get from doing this. It will pay Danny Ings' wages for a month or two. That is it. When you put it into context like that, it's ridiculous. It's just funny, isn't it? The club will earn a bit of money. But what they're doing here, it's priceless. They know how much Danny Ings' wages are worth. They know how much this concessionary increase is worth. But actually, do they know the value of it? I don't think they do. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and disappear. Please drop a like on, you probably haven't, but please drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe new to Hammer's Chat. I'm having a day off tomorrow. I've got a day off, so there's a different video going up, and I'll be back on Sunday morning. Sunday at 9 AM, I'll be live on the channel with Charlie. So if you're kicking around at 9 AM, I'll see you then. Get involved in the comments below, and I know there's going to be some of you watching this that are impacted by this. Please feel free to leave your story below. It is tough to read, I'm not going to lie. But we West Ham fans can't accept this. We Premier League fans, there's a bigger picture here. It's impacting every Premier League club. It's gone too far now.